What's the Car Talk podcast?
Hello and welcome back to the Car Talk podcast, a show where we talk about the latest car news and transportation opinion. Matty, how are you doing this month?
I'm not too bad. I'd like to issue an apology though for anybody who's actually watching the podcast because we're recording this on a Sunday afternoon and I am today what the French would say le ungo vert. So apologies if you are watching on YouTube because I am looking a bit worse for wear.
I think that's the Sunday theme, isn't it, Matty? We all somewhat look a bit crap on Sunday because I had a late night as well, so 2 and 2 there.
Yeah.
But of course, we're going to start off with the car news, and we've got a very different theme this month because we haven't really done something like this for a while, have we, Matty? Like, it's more of an interactive theme rather than a chatty theme. So we'll get onto that later. But for now, we'll start with the car news. Have you got anything to start, Matty?
Yes, top of the show today, a new car from Dacia. I know that you've got one too, baby.
Yes.
The one I've got written down here is the new C-Neo. C-Neo. It's a hatchback, and it is supposed to rival the Volkswagen Golf. Now, looking at the pictures, I'm not too sure. Are you?
It doesn't look very like a hatchback, does it? It looks like an estate.
It reminds me of the Polestar. The way it's quite high up off the ground, and I'm not too sure whether I like the look of it yet or the name.
The C-Neo. That's because I'm a big plane enthusiast, as you know, Matty, and the Neo is the new engine option on the new A320. That's what they call it, the A320 Neo. So that just reminds me of a plane.
The only thing is, though, I imagine it's going to have the 1.2 from a Renault Clio in or something like that, so probably not.
A bit dull.
Yeah. It almost looks like one of those sort of, if you go abroad, sort of the cars that we don't get here, like the sort of ones that you'd have to import because you can't buy them here.
That's very interesting. I've got another Dacia, as you know, Matty, and I thought I might start off with that, having you started off with that, and it's the all new Dacia Spring.
Yeah.
Have you seen this?
I've not only seen it. I watched Matt Watson's review on CarWow of it,
and what did you think?
I wasn't impressed.
I'm not either. It looks a bit weird. It's under 20 grand, which is the only good part about it. But one of the bad parts about it is the range is very small. It's like 130 miles or something. It's a bit pointless.
Yeah, I am impressed with Dacia's and the fact that you sort of get what you pay for, and it's at the cheaper end of the market, and that's what it's meant to be. But I just don't understand why you'd spend 20 grand on an electric car that's going to be pretty useless range-wise when you could just buy something older and more luxurious, such as a Lexus IS 200.
Yeah,
you know.
I mean, this seems to have a similar issue to the Mazda MX-30, if you know what that new sort of similar sized SUV, and that's only got a range of 130 miles, I think, but it's also got a new rotary engine in it, so it sort of powers both of them. It's a hybrid rather than electric, but it's a bit of a pointless car because the rotary has no power, and when you go onto the electric version on the electric engine, there's no range either, so it's a pretty useless car unless you're in the town, in the city sort of area. But yeah, I'm not sure on the design either. It kind of looks... Well, the thing is, all the Dacias look very similar at the front, so it's kind of hard to tell until you go to the back of it what Dacia it is. But yeah, have you got anything more interesting to spice the car news up with, Matty?
Yes, there's a new car here from a brand called KGM. You may not recognise KGM, but they are the new name, I believe, for SsangYong. They've released a new car. This is called the Torres, not to be confused with the football player that used to play for Liverpool. This is actually a much cheaper Torres. It's only $34,995, and it's a 7-seat SUV. The reason I'm mentioning this is because it has a problem. What do you think that problem is, Bailey?
It looks very much like a Ford Explorer.
Is that what? Do you think it looks like a Ford Explorer? I'm more inclined to say. I'm more inclined. Well, I'm looking at the front, and the front looks like a Jeep, but a Jeep that's like been crying, like a Jeep that's been told like its dog's died or something. It just looks like a sad.
It does look really sad, doesn't it? And at the back,
Jeep front end. Yeah,
if you look at the back, I think the lights are literally off the Ford Explorer because it is literally the same lights. If you look at the Ford Explorer lights, like the sort of current one, it looks like it's from that. I don't know why. I've just sort of.
Oh yeah. It's not a look at that, is it? Really,
no.
$35,000 for a SsangYong as well. Basically,
is that coming to the UK?
Yes, it's coming to the UK. It's going to rival the Skoda Kodiaq or something. Yeah.
Not there's much to rival there, to be honest.
No.
And talking of rivals, I've got a new car, Matty. I say new, it's more of a... you know how car brands... Well, there's like some car brands to car brands that make their car brands even more exciting, if that makes sense. So, for example,
yes.
Brabus, which is the car in question, yes. So, you know the Mercedes GT 4-door AMG thing? That big sort of saloon car? Well, Brabus have made a version of that, and it's called the Brabus Rocket 1000, which I think is a great name.
Yes.
Very inspiring. And it's actually mental because it's got 1,000 horsepower, and it's got 1,600 torque, which is just ridiculous. It's going to be absolutely. I suppose, as the name suggests, it's going to be a rocket.
How the hell is it going to put its power down and move?
Well, because it's four-wheel drive, that helps. But a fun fact about this car, Matty, those stats are limited because if it had any more power, it would break its own transmission. It's ridiculous, isn't it? But yeah,
that's reassuring, isn't it? When you're gonna go to the dealer and buy one of them, or go buy however you order one of them. Yes, it's another 2 horsepower on that, mate, and you'd be looking at a new gearbox.
yeah. As soon as you put like a remap on that, it's going to blow up, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely don't modify it to make it any faster than it already is.
It doesn't need to be. But speaking of ordering it, Matty, would you like to order one?
If I had the money, maybe.
Yeah, well, that's going to cost £385,000, and there's going to even need 25 of them. So, good luck, is all I say. But yeah, just speaking of rivals, I mean, that's going to like rival a lot of the M5s that have been sort of modified, isn't it? So,
definitely,
that'll be fun to see.
Now we're coming on to a manufacturer that's actually competing against itself. This is a classic case of too much choice. This is regarding the Volkswagen Group, or specifically Volkswagen. So, what do they make? They make these SUVs. You've got the Tiguan, you've got the Touareg, you've got the T-Cross.
Yeah.
You've got the Taygo, you've got the Tiguan Allspace, which is a 7-seat Tiguan, and now there's a new one. This is called the would you like to guess what it's called?
I have no idea. There's no real theme.
You're absolutely wrong. This is the Tayron.
Tayron.
This is a 7-seat alternative to the Tiguan. But there's already a 7-seat Tiguan called the Tiguan Allspace. So
what the hell is the point in this then?
I really don't understand, because like I was even looking at the T-Cross and the Taygo is exactly the same car and exactly the same size with exactly the same interior. They just look a little bit different. So
is this basically a facelift version of the Tiguan, whatever the other 1.7-seater is, basically?
Yeah, so I was very intrigued with this. So I rung up a Volkswagen dealer, and I said, "What is the difference between the Tiguan Allspace and the new Tayron, and what is also the difference between the Taygo and the T-Cross? And they just said yes and put the phone down. So who knows? But plenty of SUVs on offer at Volkswagen at the minute.
Great
consumer advice there.
Anyway, Matty, a bit of a news from Mercedes. Don't know if you've heard this.
Yep.
Mercedes say they're going to continue making combustion cars. Combustion car sales, I should say, well into the 2030s. And that's surprising because 80% of their cars they make are electric. So I don't know how that's going to work.
80% of the cars they make are electric?
Well, I don't know, that's just a guess.
Oh, no.
If you think about it, all the cars they've got, pretty much, they've got the CLA, which is electric, the GLA, electric. Basically, all the new SUVs they make are electric. And only very few are, diesel or petrol or whatever. You can get probably petrol versions of it.
I can answer that question. So, Mercedes are actually in a lot of trouble at the minute, Bailey, because they make their flagship electric cars, which is the EQC and the EQS. Very good cars.
I've been in an EQC, driven that, I think.
Yeah, I've driven one as well, and they're very good, very luxurious inside. And they've not just got a standard Merc interior in either, they've actually got quite a bespoke interior, quite luxurious. And I think I'd take a stab at the reason why they're continuing to make combustion cars is because Mercedes haven't been selling an awful lot of EQCs and EQSs brand new.
Yeah,
the sales of them are struggling, and Mercedes, although the A-Class is, I don't know if it still is, one of the best-selling cars. Not a single electric car that Mercedes-Benz has made so far has been in the top 10 best-selling cars each month. So that's a concern for Mercedes because that's supposed to be their future sort of stock profile, but I don't think people are wanting to pay the vast amount of money for one brand new.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually quite cheap as well on the used market.
And nobody wants electric cars, which we've talked about many times before.
Yeah.
Speaking of an electric car, Matty, do you remember that Renault 5 remake EV thing that we talked about ages ago? The Alpine A290, I think it's called. Basically, what they've confirmed that it's actually going to be made, because originally it was a concept, if you remember, which is cool because obviously it's quite exciting. It's quite a different car, and it's if you remember, it's got 3 seats in the interior. It's 2 motors and it's going to have about 220 horsepower. So I think that's quite cool that they're bringing that out for real, because that's a car I'd quite like to see. Well, I've seen it in person in Goodwood, but obviously quite like to see on the road.
No, yeah, it's definitely coming, and I actually can't wait for the retro looks.
Yeah.
A proper car of tomorrow, eh, Bailey?
Yes.
Yes, which brings us on to a new great little segue there. A new feature on the Car Talk podcast, which I am calling Car Talk's Cars of Tomorrow Today. Not to be confused with the Harry Hills thing from about 15 years ago. Yes, this is Car Talk's Cars of Tomorrow Today. And these are cars that are either rumoured to be coming or just concept cars. I've got one for this month, and this is the Hyundai Casper. I am really hoping that this is going to come to the UK. It's already on sale in Korea, but what people are saying is that Hyundai are changing it drastically, changing it the way it looks and everything like that, possibly for Europe. And it's a small, boxy electric car, but I think it's probably going to be a bit of a riot, and it's going to be apparently a rival for the Citroen EC3, which is pretty drab. But yeah, I am looking for okay. And that was Car Talk Cars of Tomorrow Today.
Sorry, Matthew, just going back on to the Hyundai Casper. Yeah, it's rather different. It looks kind of like a Despicable Me car. It's very sort of disproportioned, isn't it? or is that just my eyes?
It's only going to be. It's only going to be something like 3 meters long.
Right, really.
So moving on.
I've got one more car, Matty, that I'd like to talk about. And do you remember last month I talked about the new Mini Countryman S, which we disliked a lot because it looked really shit. Yeah. Well, the new Mini Cooper has very much been inspired by that. And if you'd like to have a look at this, Matty, it's coming out next year.
Yeah.
If you have a notice what they've done, the interior is like similar to what they're doing in the Countryman. That's with like circles everywhere, which is I guess is the theme of Mini, but it's a bit ridiculous. But it's gonna be.
That is like someone's just bought a clock from Wilko's or somewhere, and like a wall clock, and just glued it to the dashboard.
Now I've got a bit more information on this, Matty. So you know how the one we're looking at in the blue is the electric, it's the EV Cooper, yeah?
Yeah.
So this is what confuses me. So they've put, this is the all-new petrol version of the Mini Cooper electric. Isn't that just the Mini Cooper? So what they're saying is they've made a petrol version of a car that's electric of a car that was already a petrol car.
Say that again. A petrol version of an electric car that was already petrol.
Yeah, that's what it is, babe. That's what they said. It says the all-new petrol version of the Mini Cooper electric. That's their words. What is the point? So basically,
how much is it going to be, Bailey?
I don't know. I don't really
70
care.
grand or something. That's how much.
Yeah, most
Minis
likely.
And electric Fiat 500s are these days.
But they're obviously doing a Cooper S version, which is going to have the 2-litre petrol engine, like the old one. But it said it's got 204 horsepower, and I think that's lower than previously. So again, they're not doing very well there.
It's going to be heavier as well, isn't it? Let's face it.
And Matty, do you want to see all the different engine modes and different driving modes in the car?
Yeah, go on.
There's 9 different driving modes. And
is one like analog, one digital, one AM, one PM? With all the clocks and everything.
Sort of,
or am I just being,
but in a more confusing way. So the different engine modes are Trail, Balance, Personal, Timeless, Vivid, Green, Core, and Go-Kart.
I mean, that starts off like a what gymnast, like
yeah. I don't know what they're
onto
thinking.
The gymnast's wardrobe.
It literally is
vivid.
This is like you're describing it like a I don't know a new sort of like clothing brand or something.
You can imagine the meeting. You can imagine the board meeting at Mini when they were designing this car, and he said, "Yes, this car it's going to have magic mode, it's going to have balance mode, it's going to have galloping mode." And so, well, I think you just dropped some verbs there on the way. And we'll just do it anyway. Yeah, fuck it, and then we're going to just put a big clock in the middle of the dashboard, and it is a new Mini, and it's going to be a new version of the old version that we created. It's just.
It's actually so funny.
Yeah, if management jargon was a car, then this is it. The new Mini.
The new. This should just be called the new Mini Waffle.
Yeah, new Mini bullshit.
It's just hilarious. It's just like why? I just found it so funny. They've made a new petrol version of a Mini that was already petrol.
Bailey, we are in the midst of a celebration this month on the Car Talk podcast. Not only have we gained one new listener this month, we are also in the midst of a celebration, an anniversary. The Jeep Renegade is celebrating a decade on sale with a 2024 update.
I'm not interested.
Right, moving on. Do you have any more car news, Bailey? Because I've got one more.
You can go for your last one.
Last one from me, and this is a big one, Bailey. Do you remember the other week you texted me or you sent me a voice note and you said that you'd actually seen a Nissan Townstar van in public?
I did, and it was a very celebrative moment.
Yes, more celebrative than the Jeep Renegade being on sale for 10 long years.
Most definitely.
Well, here is another quest for you, because I am challenging you to spot this This is the new Nissan Interstar, and it is the new large van from Nissan with an electric version available.
The new Interstar, so funny.
Interstar. You've got the Town Star, you've got the Prime Star, and now you have the Interstar, which apparently is hot on the heels of the new Renault Master, and it is not hot on the heels of it because it's the same as it. It's related to it. It is.
Yeah, it's just a Renault again, isn't it?
Would you rather have a Renault Master or would you rather have a Nissan Interstar?
Well, the Interstar is brilliant. It's basically it's what it is. It's a bigger Town Star, isn't it? They've kind of named it in that aspect.
Yeah, they're all stars.
For God's sake. Star that you never see. When you do, it's a really celebrative moment, like I said earlier. That's so good. I need to look for that now. The Interstar.
Yeah, that's
a good challenge.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
that is whoever spots it first wins or whatever like that. But yeah, I can't wait for the HGV. I wonder what that's going to be called. The Diamond Star,
the Galaxy Star,
the Galaxy Star, the Space Star. Oh no, we've already had that from Mitsubishi. That doesn't count.
For God's sake. Right, I think that wraps up car news of February.
We really have ended on a high.
I know we have. So we'll move on to the theme, which is, as I said, quite different because we're going to do a more of an interactive theme as opposed to just chatting a load of nonsense, which we do already, Matty, don't we?
Speak for yourself.
Well, yeah, that's true. The Interstar isn't nonsense. So this month we're going to be talking about, what's the best Top Gear special? Now we've got like a tier list thing that I'm going to be sharing on screen. Obviously, if you're on Spotify, then unfortunate for you can't see what we're doing, but we can listen still. So yeah, we've got a big sort of tier list, and it's got all the Top Gear specials that were ever made, and we're sort of just going to rate them individually. Does that sound good, Matty?
It does sound good. Now is the time, if you're listening on Spotify, to ponder whether you want to watch me hungover so you can see the tier list, or whether you just want to save your eyes but not see the tier list. The choice is yours. Pause the video now to turn over. Yeah.
So, Matty, you can see that we've got all the specials below here. I think this is all of them. I just picked one that had a good amount. So we got the categories here. We've got elite, great, good, average, and underwhelming.
Right.
Would you like to start off with anything? Pick a special.
I can't see the choices exactly.
So this is the first one's Africa. This is Bolivia. That's the other Africa one, the one with Oliver. The Burma special, the Argentinian. That's the Middle Eastern. That's the Argentinian. Sorry, that one is the what's it when they have the Jag, the Mini? Oh, that's the India. That's it. The Polar Special, US Special, Vietnam, and the Winter Olympics.
Okay, I'm going to start off, if I may, with the India Special, because this may cause some controversy, but I would actually say that was... What's the choices? Underwhelming is what I would put that under. Would you agree, or do you think it was good?
I think it was fairly average / underwhelming, yeah.
I remember watching that when it first came out, and I'm sure it came out on like Boxing Day or something, because I was in my auntie's house around about Christmas time. She normally has an annual Christmas party. That's not really relevant anyway. But we were watching this new Top Gear India special, and like I was only like 10, 11 maybe a bit older, and I just felt suitably underwhelmed by it. I just found it not funny.
So how are we going to do this? If I'm saying average and you're saying underwhelming, what should we say? There's no real middle ground, I suppose, because if I said good, then we could put it in average.
Who's the boss then?
See, I don't know if any of these are underwhelming, to be honest. I don't think any special's that underwhelming, really, is it? Or is it?
Well, I don't know.
I think India special is definitely the weaker of them all.
If you want to put the India special in average, put it in average.
Okay. Right, I'm going to pick the US special. That one.
Oh.
What do you reckon? I think it's good.
Are we on about the US special where they've got the Dodge Ram, the Cadillac, and the
the very early one, the very early US special,
the Chevrolet Camaro, that one?
Yeah.
Okay, that was, I think, first proper Top Gear adventure abroad, was it?
I think so.
I thought that was elite.
Elite.
I really thought that episode for me had everything. You know what I mean?
So let's put it in great then. If it's in between good and elite.
Okay.
You're next to pick.
We go with is that the North Pole special there?
Yeah, this one.
What did you think about that one?
To be fair, I haven't watched it in ages, so I can't really remember a lot of what happened in it. And that makes me feel that it was kind of average.
I'd be inclined to agree. I watched it when it first came out, and then when I was a bit older, I watched it again, and I think I appreciated it more when I was a bit older.
Yeah.
But if you haven't watched it since, then you'll be feeling sort of that it was average or good.
Yeah.
It was funny though, like when they.
These are all funny.
When they started to. When they're driving and he just pulls out a bottle of wine and a glass, and he's like, "You've brought wine," and they just start drinking wine behind the wheel because you're on the North Pole, and loads of people phoned in and complained that they would drink drive, but they're in the fucking North Pole where there's nothing to crash into and nobody.
No, it's just dumb.
Yeah.
So where should we put it then? Good.
Should we say good? Yeah.
Good. Yeah, I think that's good. Let's do the second Africa special, which is the Subaru, the River Nile one.
Yeah,
Source of Nile. I thought that was an elite episode.
Did you?
Yeah.
What makes you think that?
I don't know. I just think it was just the idea was good. The cars were good. The little modifications they did on it were good. So I think it was just a really just enjoyable episode overall.
I did like it. I'd say it was great. I'd say it was great over Elite. Definitely think the American special was better. I mean, I just thought though the story to that episode, you must find the source of the River Nile. I think there weren't much of a plot to it. You know what I mean? It just.
But I suppose a lot of these specials are very there's a basic sort of reason for their doing it, but they make it interesting using their surroundings and stuff.
Yeah.
Should we just put it in great then, if we're gonna agree?
Let's put it in great.
In great.
So scores on the doors, we've got 2 in great, 1 in good, and 1 in average.
Yeah. Next one, Matty, what are you gonna pick?
The Bolivia special.
Bolivia special.
I want to know before I say anything, what is your gut instinct with that one?
I thought that was great as well.
Do you think any of them are elite? Because I thought the Bolivia special was also elite.
Okay, let's put it in elite because there's nothing there, so it makes sense.
You know.
Well, I really enjoyed these top 3 that we've put up the most.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a really good episode because there's a lot of different landscape in it, isn't there? There's the forest, they got the death road, they got the desert.
Yeah.
So it's a really good combination of stuff. Let's talk about the Winter Olympics special. What do you reckon of that?
Well, I think you're going to say, if there was one above elite, you're probably going to do that, but I would say it's average, because we seem to be disagreeing on a lot of these, but...
No, actually, I think it's average as well.
Yeah, I think it's average. Because it was quite an early one, wasn't it, as well?
Yeah,
so.
I like because it wasn't really just about one thing, it was sort of multiple different challenges to put together, wasn't it, really?
It was funny though when he blocked the ski slope with all the chairs, and then it turned out it was the wrong ski
That was funny. And the Mini is coming down that one, right? So average, even though there's some funny moments. Well, there's funny moments in all of them, but yeah, I think overall as a special, it's not as great.
What other choices have I got there, Bailey? I can't
So
really make out them.
first Africa, Burma special, Middle East, Argentinian, and the Vietnam.
What did you think about the Vietnam special, considering we don't like bikes?
I thought it was good / great.
I thought it was great. Like, I think that, again, that's another episode that had it all, because they had to make it. There's very little you can talk about bikes if you don't know about bikes, and if you're a car show. So it was a bit of a risk.
Yeah.
Choosing bikes. But they nailed it, obviously.
It's like Seaman and the Grand Tour. It's a really good episode, even though they're just in boats.
Yeah. Obviously Jeremy bought a scooter. They kept buying each other presents, which I thought was hilarious. That's what spanned my idea to get you that picture of Ascot that time. It was. I thought it was a good episode, very funny. When he gets given a boat and he tries to fix the boat.
That's funny.
And then he lifts it up and it gets caught in the ceiling fan.
And then what's funny is when Jeremy and Richard are already at the location, they're just watching James's one sink, and he has his statue that he brings the statue back and nothing else. So stupid.
That's the worst arrival anyone's ever made to anything ever.
That's so iconic. It's kind of a fitting theme, this, because I don't know if you've watched the new Sand Job Grand Tour, have you?
I've started it. Yeah, I'm up to the bit where where he uses the car to get down the sand thing, and then they realise that there's a road to get there.
Yeah, it's a bit. See, I think it's good that we're doing this, because obviously now that the Grand Tour's sort of coming to an end, it's good. Like, it's nice to look back on sort of specials they've done in Top Gear and stuff.
I think as well, for me, I think I was speaking to someone in work about this. Like, he said that he's restarted watching the Grand Tour from the beginning, because he was like, it's been 10 years since it came out, so like it's like watching it again brand new, because obviously you've watched all the Top Gear episodes millions of times on Dave, but never the Grand Tour. So
it's really funny because
I've
literally just finished watching them all again as well. On the Grand Tours, so and I've noticed a lot of the Grand Tour is definitely more like scripted than old Top Gear. But I suppose they're all kind of scripted, aren't they? So I think next I want to pick the Burma special.
Okay.
With the trucks, the sports lorry. There's so many like iconic moments from that. That's why I think it's a great special.
Horse.
And when they build the bridge and stuff.
So would you say great or good with that one?
Great, I reckon.
Yeah.
Your next, Matty?
What have I got left?
Africa, Middle East, and Argentinian.
The Middle East, remind me what that was. Was that with the MX-5?
Yeah, MX-5 Fit Barchetta and the Z3, I think, wasn't it? The Roadsters.
Well, it was a really, really good episode.
Yeah.
Looking at the list there, I would say it's more good than great. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think I agree with that. Cause
I loved it when James bumped his head, though.
They actually mentioned that in Sand Job, I think, as well. They mentioned they have a reference to it, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll put it in good. So the last two... we've got the Africa, the original Africa special where they drive across the plains in those really old cars, and the Argentina. I think the Argentina is up there again. Don't know about you.
It was good, that, wasn't it?
That was a really good one, and the whole
Porsche. Yeah,
the Porsche, and also the whole thing with the people throwing rocks at them and stuff.
The number plate thing. Yeah, wow, that cannot have been scripted, can it?
No, definitely not. I think that's an elite episode. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, I would say elite.
Elite. And then just the final one, Matty, where do you think the Africa special goes?
So is this with Oliver, yeah?
Yeah, I can't remember the actual name of it. I think it's The Great Adventures. Yeah, I can't really see what that says.
I mean, apart from the Oliver scene, there's little I remember about that episode. I don't know about you.
Yeah.
So I would say good, perhaps.
Good, yeah, good/average. I don't think there's any underwhelming, like, Top Gear special, really, is there? There's underwhelming Top Gear episodes, but I don't think there's underwhelming.
Yeah.
And that's obviously, I know you said about the, what was it? Was it the India? So you said it was underwhelming, but I thought that was average, at least,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, the lesson learned is that if you would like to watch a Top Gear special tonight, the best one is the Bolivia special and what was the other one?
Argentinian.
The Argentinian special. Yeah, it's only been 2 minutes.
We're getting old like them.
Yeah, you'll see me wearing slippers next week.
So what was established is, obviously, as you said, Matty, if you want to watch the best Top Gear specials, it's the Bolivia special and the Argentinian special. So those are the top choices from us. Obviously, yours might be different, and feel free to comment what your favourite specials are in the comments, I suppose.
Are you talking to me or the listeners?
Everyone, Matty.
All right.
Whoever's listening.
Okay.
Matty, would you like to plug your socials?
Yes. If you like me, then you can see my personal YouTube channel. That's over on Matty's Cars. Type Matty's Cars into YouTube. You can follow me on Instagram, Matty's Cars YT. And if you would like to see me in my own clothes, then you can follow my personal Instagram, Matsgram99. Here's Bailey to tell you the incorrect names for his TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. Over to you, Bailey.
Thank you. So if you want to subscribe to the channel, you can do that down below. Obviously, we do this every month, and we do more car reviews and sort of challenges. And we've started a new series recently, which is the GT86 series. I don't know if you've watched that, Matty, yet.
Oh, yeah, that's the one with the Boxster engine.
Yeah, I don't know why Mary said that. He's the one that owns the sodding car, and I said Boxer. So we're doing that, and that's sort of like fitting new. We're sort of doing like as a mod sort of series. But yeah, if you want to follow us on Instagram, it's carculture_YT. And if you want to follow us on TikTok, where we show behind the scenes, much like Instagram as well, that's carcultureyt.
Underscore.
There's no underscore in that. And obviously, if you want to follow my personal account, which I don't think I've done much recently on there, but if you want to follow that, it's Bailey Prickett 27. I think that's everything, isn't it, Matty, for this month?
Yeah.
Hopefully next month we'll have a guest, even though we say that every month, but it's a lot difficult than you might think it is.
Hopefully next month something will change.
Yeah, as in it won't. It probably won't. But yeah.
Maybe we'll just have to do like a feature called Car Talks Guests of Tomorrow Today, where we discuss what guests we'd like to come on.
Yeah,
but
that we could have
come on.
That's a good idea, actually. Yeah. It'd probably end up being Daniel Acterhouse or Jack Mortar again.
They're going to want a full-time... It's like a full-time job for them. They're going to want paying soon, you know.
Probably.
They're single-handedly supporting our podcast because we can't get guests.
Literally. We've kind of got like the most sort of, like, there's not really any other guests we can get on that have YouTube channels, really, is there?
No.
Anyway, we'll figure that out. But we'll see you next month.